we've got big revelations today. This comes from SmashJT's website, who is covering Master of the TDS and his wife Ryden Raven's report on their channel Gothic Therapy of a network of publishers tied to Landfall Games and Sweet Baby Inc. Link will be in the description. Now, what came out is Landfall Games controls a publishing company that pushes ESG and DEI called Wings Interactive, who Kim Belair sat on their selection board, tying them to Sweet Baby Inc. Landfall Games also has a variety of other companies, Vingar Interactiva AB, Landfall Publishing AB, Landfall Mansion AB, Landfall Mountain AB, all at the same address. Then their employees control Case Development AB and Broken Worlds AR, creating a huge network all tied together, pushing the same nonsense of diversity equals creativity, i.e. ESG, DEI, cultural Marxism. Then we hop down here, we find out Riot Games in 2021, when they are fully owned by Tencent, who is controlled by the CCP, funded them to the tune of $1 million. Yes, now the theory is that Tencent pushes this stuff into the Western market, because all this stuff is not allowed in China at all. DEI, ESG, straight banned in China. In fact, in China, if you ever wonder, like, wow, why do all the women in Chinese video games look so good and the men are so masculine? That's law. You cannot make sissy men in entertainment in China, and you cannot make ugly women. The CCP outright passed a law saying so. So while they're financing this stuff around the world, the theory is it just wrecks the economy and culture. So they can swoop in and buy it up on the cheap. Now, some people, including Tencent, will say, well, we're not controlled by the CCP. That's a lie. There is no truly independent company in China. They're all controlled by the CCP. Members of the CCP sit on their boards. And if they don't do what the CCP says, well, I cannot remember if it was Tencent, but there was one of the three major publishers in China decide to think that they were more powerful than the CCP and to thumb their nose at the CCP and not do what they were told. So the CCP flat out just stopped approving their games for months. No new game was released by this major publisher for months, and their stock cratered. As the CCP showed them, we're in charge. If you don't play ball, we just take your business away. And I think it might have been Tencent, but there are three big companies, including Tencent, in China. It might have been one of the other two. Either way, if it wasn't Tencent, Tencent got a front row seat to watching what the CCP would do if they said no. So this is the CCP, through Tencent, financing the stuff to hijack and strong-arm the indie scene. Now, fortunately for the indie scene, there are many, many publishers. And you could just, work a day job while working on your game, or have your family support you, or, save up money for a bit, or go with any of the other publishers. That's why this is going to have a lot less damage than, say, the AAA industry has from Sweet Baby Inc. and the other DEI ESG infestation. Now, it is not just the CCP. As I exposed the other day, the U.S. government, through the Small Business Administration, has been financing GLAAD, who are Sweet Baby Inc.'s masters. They've been giving them loans, two of which were financing when they could not get financing in the private sector. And then you have two COVID relief loans, which I'm just going to flat out call money laundering at this point in time, as that looks just suspicious as hell. And you find out that the State Department, or Department of State, gave them two small grants. This will become important later. We also find out that the Feminist Frequency also got money from the Small Business Administration through COVID relief. We find out Anita Sarkeesian got money through COVID relief through her LLC. Not a lot, which is why I sat on this information for a couple of days, because it just was not the huge gotcha that GLAAD was. And Hit Detection, another Sweet Baby Inc. like company, also got financing through the COVID relief fund and just loans when you cannot secure financing in the private sector. Now, keep in mind this. When me or you cannot secure financing for stuff we might need for our business or our homes or our health, we're told to pound sand. But if you run a Marxist institution, like, you just get money handed to you. Isn't that lovely? So did they finance any of the Landfall games connected people? I can't tell you. Now, I've set the filter to show me anything and everything given in Sweden, and you find out here you get multiple recipients, millions upon millions of dollars, from the Social Security Administration. Now, this could just be payouts to some survivors in Sweden, just happened to live in Sweden, just mysteriously. You know, there's no start-end period, so it's kind of hard to track this. Something that Doe just pointed out with the Treasury Department. They have the same issue. You can scroll down through here. You see millions upon millions of dollars going to multiple recipients. And then you have stuff like this, remove to protect PII. You know, that's from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Millions of dollars. And you open these up, and they don't really give you any real information when they finally load. Just that they remove the information, assistance to needs of surviving spouses, kids. Same thing with the Social Security Administration. Now, if it wasn't for the fact that money laundering is being exposed in the government, I might be a bit more inclined to think nothing of this. But it's something worth taking notice of. Now, if after an audit turns out it's nothing, it's just nothing. But when you find out that money laundering has been systemic in pretty much all branches of the government, it becomes really suspicious when you see millions of dollars going to Sweden from the Social Security Administration. And we hop over here to grants going to Sweden. Now you're going to see a bunch of medical companies. But we get down to here. Miscellaneous foreign awardees, nearly $2 million. Embattled NGO assistance, that's non-government organizations. This almost assuredly went to Marxist organizations because most NGOs, or many NGOs, are straight Marxist. They exist to help push Marxist agendas. Globalism, feminism, all that wonderful stuff that we're told is so grassroots and comes up from nothing. And you find out this comes from the State Department of State. Now looky there. In 2011. Now, because of the year, maybe this didn't get to them. Might not have. But it definitely didn't go to help anything. And you click on this, and it just straight up tells you that, you know, we're not going to tell you who it went to. But it went to people in Washington, D.C. Isn't that kind of weird there? So maybe that didn't have anything to do with wokeness in video games. Maybe it's just money laundering. And like I said, a lot of these are straight just medical institutions. The real problem when it comes to uncovering how much funding has gone to organizations like Wings Interactive is the financing is likely going through middlemen, NGOs, corporations, and other organizations. So we need to find them. And here's the worst part. The government might not list where the money is going to. Like the Treasury Department was giving out millions upon millions upon millions of dollars and just flat out not listing who it was going to. That is the controversy going on right now in the Treasury Department. And that is 100% a money laundering scheme. Now, the problem with that is it's going to take forever to financially audit and investigate where all this money went to. Like 3, 4, maybe even more years to financially track down who got this money, even without records, because it has to go to bank accounts. This leaves us in this position where we cannot say how much money has financed this nonsense. We already see that they finance GLAAD. So we know they're doing it. We have unequivocal proof they're doing it. We know Feminist Frequency, Anita Sarkeesian, Hit Detection, all got COVID relief and other financing. So we know at some level the government is already financing stuff. We just don't know to what extent. And we may never know to what extent. It may just end up getting shut down permanently with us never finding out where all the money went to. And here's another issue. This is just from the U.S. government. We don't know how much Sweden is giving out in government assistance, because if they have a website, I don't know what it is. So I can't really look up what Sweden's handing out. So Sweden themselves could be financing this wokeness. And in that case, the U.S. government could be giving them foreign assistance, and then that foreign assistance is then distributed to this wokeness. We can look this up right now. 5.5 billion a year goes to the Swedish government. That's what makes all this really hard to track down, as it is a hydra of corruption that goes off in every single direction. In about a decade, there's probably going to be a really good book written on this. Really good graphs made on this. Hit that like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, people.